Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. I want to do a quick walkthrough of this Tab Bound Journal. It is already sold, but I wanted to do a walkthrough. Hopefully there's some inspiration in this. I know that I did some different things that I saw and was inspired by other people, so I thought I would share it. Like I say in the tutorial, the cover is a cluster of different things. We have some doily, coffee filter, writ dye paper. I did some watercolor here and printed on some vellum enamel dots. This is a beautiful crushed velvet cover. It is so soft. And this little dangle hanging out is not really a spine dangle, but it goes with the book board. So let's open it up here. And the inside is kind of a shiny, textured, I don't know what you would call that. It reminds me of windbreaker kind of material. And so this is not attached to the cover. It's just a fabric cover to give it some support and protection. And this is the book plate. It says "Let It Snow." Of course, it has a little snowflake charm and a paperclip, handmade paperclip charm. It's kind of long for this little book plate. And then on the back of it, I have some vintage book, or no, it's kind of a magazine or a newspaper. It was from 1938, but I've circled a piece here that it just so happened after I glued it down, I noticed it and I circled it before I laminated it because I want the person that is buying this to see it. So there is the book plate. And the front cover, this whole digital is by Creative Junk Journal Kit, I believe. And just done some different sparkles and sequins. Again, this is a tab binding. Have a little bit of muslin here with Merry Christmas. The inside, of course, is the note from the bookmaker. This time I printed it on tea-dyed paper. I don't know why I haven't been doing that. I guess because I had some already printed and I ran out and I thought, ooh, I need to print that on tea-dyed paper. So I thought it was really pretty. And then this is some cardstock that was tea-dyed with really pretty tea-dyed paper that I've been hoarding. I've cut every little piece off this. It was the best color. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, and this tea dyeing process was so pretty. Here's more of the vintage magazine. Shaped it into like an index card. Some distress tape. And then we have lace on this side. The other side of that digital. Here is an envelope I found. I thought maybe if they did a letter to Santa, it kind of reminds me of that kind of thing. I don't know what that says. It's definitely a different language. Little paper clip with some tassel on the top. This is a tea-dyed, I think it's a meter tag. I didn't do this. I got it from someone else. But I think it's a meter tag. And more fabric, a fabric tab. The inside of this, I've done some glitter in the fireplace, and you can't see it, but there's also some red glitter to try to emulate flames. I've done some red glitter on the berries throughout. Little muslin tab with a key stamped on it. Stamping on this side. Little gnome. I guess they're elves. Some eyelash trim sewn on the side, just hand sewn. All of the papers in here, I believe, are tea-dyed. More of the distress tape. This time it's blue. I'm kind of mess around with the colors, and I thought that was pretty. This is a photograph holder that I sewed around. This pocket was missing. I'm sure I used the acetate for something, so I made a pocket out of the muslin that I had tea-dyed. In this pocket is a envelope. I created a pocket and a writing spot from junk mail envelope. Done some stamping. said I wasn't going to fill up these photo pockets, but I did. I think I filled them every one up. This is from some of the scraps from her paper, and I just made a little notebook out of it with all these different papers. There's even some baking paper in here, and I thought when I was making it, you know, this time of year is always difficult because when my husband was here, we always did a lot of games and things, and I was thinking with this, you could do a game where everybody wrote a little note to the person, whoever, you know, just to anybody, to their mom, dad, whoever owns the journal, write a little note. And whoever lands on the baking paper, because there's only 2 of them, it's just folded in half, maybe gets something special, a special treat, or gets to pick something, I don't know. Anyway, full of games, I guess. Anyway, this is tea-dyed, different kinds of paper in here. Little pocket on the front with some tea-dyed tags. And this little button is actually from a coffee can, the aluminum that you pull off of a new coffee can, and I ran it through the die cut machine and made a little button out of it. This side is a tag and a bingo card, some pom-pom fringe, Santa and his reindeer. More, this tea-dyed paper is really pretty. There's actually a little wrinkle here. I may end up putting some distress tape on that. More scrapbook paper with lace on the edge. You could actually use that for a tuck spot. And this side I have 2 pockets, one vellum and one from tea-dyed paper, and there's just some little goodies stuck down in here. I thought this was kind of neat. I found some playing cards at the secondhand shop, and there was a deck for each season, so winter, spring, summer, winter, fall, and I thought that was kind of neat. So I just tucked that in there. There's just some goodies, and I'm not going to take everything out because I want her to be a little bit surprised. So I have some paper ruffle here, and I've put sparkly around the tires, a little bit on the icicles, and on the horse's bridle. This is a metal piece, and I've just clipped it on to this silver ribbon. It's a heavy ribbon, kind of like a netting. So I just clipped it on with a ball pen to show, you know, how she could use these ball pens. And she does, I mean, you don't have to leave this here, but it's just a little metal piece. Kind of reminded me of a snowflake, so I clipped it onto that. This is scrapbook paper. I put 2 pockets, and this is just a writing spot. These snowflakes are also made from the coffee lid, the aluminum coffee lid. And a couple little tags in here. One tag, and this is a specimen card that I've put a little charm on. Of course, you can write on the back. Done some sewing on that one. Some cluster tabs. It has muslin and a couple, actually I think there's like 3 different papers all folded onto these. I thought that gave it a different look. Some more of that vintage newspaper. And here, a fabric and some tea-dye paper, and this is handmade paper, and it's got the threads. I don't know what's woven in there, but kind of looks like thread or hay. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of neat. This is actually vintage music paper, and I printed part of the digital on it. It's some elves, and they look like maybe they're making toys, and it has some red tinsel here. Put a pocket on the back with some tags, punched out little trees. They're on tea-dyed paper. Put some flowers. These are brads at the top, so I didn't glue these down. They can be removed. And this is just a little piece of doily. This flower I made from that vintage magazine, big newspaper. and some of the digital from this kit. It printed a little bunny and its eyes looked mad. It kind of freaked me out. So I didn't want to use it, but didn't want to waste the paper. So I cut flowers out with the die cut and then layered them. This newspaper is pretty fragile, so I backed it with the stronger paper, and it seems like it's held up really well. But this is also a hidden spot, a hidden journal spot. To me, when you first look at it, it just looks like there's a flower there, but it is a tuck behind with a tag that has writing spot, a little bit of the distress tape. And again, this flower can be taken off. I didn't glue it down, just with the brad. Some of the tea-dyed vellum. Love this stuff. More tea-dyed paper. Very grungy looking. And I cut it kind of, I don't know, what do you call that? Asymmetrical. Weird cut. See how grungy it is? Love it. So I put a couple little tags in there. They're also dyed. Have some handmade, the little papers at the top. Paper flowers with brads. Sewed around this sheet. This piece here inside the vellum is a signature that is bound together with the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and then also bound into the book. So all of this piece here, they're not individual like the rest. So the vellum, the tea-dyed paper, this is tea-dyed dot paper, and this was a folder, maybe like a sheet protector or something. So I cut it and then made some little tabs, put the little eye holes on, you know, to put dangles or whatever. I put a little charm here that has a bell and some handmade paper, some muslin, some ribbon. And the good thing about clustering things like this, you can always take them off and put them throughout your book. This is another one of the metal pieces that I put on with a little brad through one of the eye holes. This is some more of the distress tape. It's kind of like you can just peel it off of this. So I put some of the blue distress tape, which you probably can't see in the video, and some of the aged looking. But I thought this page would be good for stickers and different things that you aren't sure you want to keep them there, but you can move them around. This is wallpaper and a scrappy cluster on some, I don't know what this is. It kind of reminds me of webbing, I guess. Very pretty. This is a fabric page. I clipped on a safety pin that has safety pins on it. I don't know what this little thing is called, that a safety pin where it bends, but this big one doesn't have it. So you can put whatever you want on there and still have room to clip it on. Like these, you can't do anything but have the beads, because now you have no way to clip it on anything else. But I thought the beads were really pretty. If she wants to make charms out of them, they're really pretty blue, kind of iridescent blue. I clipped on some extra ball pins for charms. Packing paper, and this is just a really pretty bag. I think I got it off Etsy last year. This is made from an envelope, I think. Yes, junk mail envelope. I've backed it with some of that really pretty tea-dyed paper. Little die cut there, or actually a hand cut. It was a digital, but it is a pocket. I didn't put anything in it, but it's I think they call it floating ephemera, so you can put it wherever and you can write on the back. Has a tag in it, little muslin pocket, 2 small tags that are made from handmade paper, and I embossed these. It says, every dream deserves its day. Just in there. Ribbon in the center, left long strings, in case you want to add any charms. On this side of the bag, I have an embossed envelope, and there's just some few things in there, a little tea-dyed doily and some scrapbook paper. This is actually half of an envelope. The envelope was really long, and I had already folded it because I intended to bind it into the journal and then realized it wasn't long enough to meet with the fabric tabs. So I cut it in half, sewed the other end, and I think it's in here as well somewhere. But this, when you emboss these envelopes, if they're not heavy-duty envelopes, they kind of get very thin. So I didn't want to glue it down and take a chance that it would get torn. I just put a few things in it and tucked it in there. A few more ball pins, different colors. And this is another one of the metal pieces that I thought looked like a snowflake. It is on there with a brad, and this brad is a bear. And it signifies two things: where she lives and what she listened to today. There was a poem on there about a bear, so it's kind of interesting that I found a bear brad in my stuff. Here's the rest of that scrappy cluster. Put some more of the distress tape. On this bulb pin is a really pretty blue heart charm. And this one is just fabric, just extra pieces of fabric. And I did this just so you could see that you can put anything on these. I mean, and it looks good hanging out from your book. But also, they can serve a purpose. I mean, if, heaven forbid, one of these came loose or was torn, she would have replacements. And then I just put an extra bulb pin on that last one. That one's empty. More of the dot paper, the other side of the Santa paper, and the vellum. With Santa Claus. Here is a sparkly envelope, probably not showing up. Has a little cluster here. Don't think I put anything in this. A little bit of distress tape. And I just hung it over the edge with a curly paper clip. Put pictures. This is just gonna be full of her Christmas memories, I know it. More tea dye. Oh, this is pretty. It's a log cabin, and on some of the ice hanging down and snow, I put some glitters. This envelope really wasn't long enough, but because this is fabric and not sticky tape or something that would stick to this page, I could put glue only where I needed to. And I thought it looked okay that the fabric comes out from the sides. Put a little bit of distress tape. This is embossed. And it has a little paper ruffle. I clipped this color page in. It is tea dyed. Little snowman. But the reason I clipped it in is, again, with the games. My daughter did this the other day when all of the grandkids were here. And I thought, what a cute idea. She had a color book page, and she had each one of them to color something on it. So it was a family color book page. And I thought, that's a really cute idea, especially if you have a lot of kids. And maybe whichever piece they colored, they could initial that. I don't know. I just think it would be a nice memory to have in the years to come. Maybe make it a family tradition that you do a color page every year. And this is a snowman and a little cabin. This is some more of those metal pieces. I put a little bird brad in the middle. It holds on a doily. Love this ribbon. It's got gold sparkles in it. Oh, it's so pretty. More tea dye. Here's another one. It's not the other half because they're separate, but another photo page. And again, I've put a little cluster here, little writing spot, and it's a notepad with different kinds of papers in it. On this side is just some more scraps with this tea dye that I thought would make great journaling spots. Another journal spot, another specimen card. Here are a couple envelopes. This one has a little embellishment, little cluster on the front. It's got a little brad, little piece of that coffee lid, snowflake, some fabric ruffle and muslin. And in here I'm going to put, I think it'll fit, a gift card holder. And she'll know what this is. Has a little bit of distress tape. This one's supposed to be manly looking. And it's a 3 card holder. And it has some of that vintage newspaper on it. I didn't put an enclosure on this one. I don't know. I didn't want to put something in front of the deer. I just thought it was beautiful the way it is. So I'm going to tuck that down into one of these envelopes. Hopefully it will fit. It does. Perfect. And I'll hang this envelope over one of the pages. Another, and this one is embossed. This one is embossed as well. And I've just put some little die cuts and more fabric pieces. Fabric pieces are good for making clusters in this envelope. And I'll hang them over a page. Here's the other half of that long envelope. It's embossed, as you can see. And there's just some little writing spots, some stickers in here that will make good clusters. Very pretty. Tried to match them with the Christmas theme. More fabric ruffle. This is some ribbon ruffle. Big jumbo paper clip. I like those. And this is a cute picture of some little kids playing, building snowmen. These are the sparkly paper. I cut out snowflakes with the die cut machine, glued them along the page, and then also glued the same on the other side. More scrapbook paper. It looks like music paper. It's been tea dyed. Some burlap ribbon folded over. Some chiffon ruffle. This is a piece of writing paper that I just tore it, kind of vintaged it up to make it look old. And I left it hanging off the page instead of clipping it even. I don't know if I like that or not. If she doesn't like it, it's a faux postcard. She can just cut that off. This side has some red eyelash trim and Santa Claus. And here are more of those little animals. I think the person that created this digital kit might be from outside of the US, because I think they all have these mad little eyes, but I think in another country that's considered cute. And I think it just scares me. But anyway, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just saying, you know, different countries have different traditions and different likes, and I don't like their eyes. So I think she should put something over them. This would be a good spot for a picture. Anyway. So we have a little town, and I put more of the sparkly on the houses where the little icicles hang. Very pretty. Overall, the digital kit is beautiful. It's just me. I'm probably the only one that sees the mean little eyes. More tea-dyed paper. Really pretty paper. There is the other side of the town, little church steeple. This has some glittery silver ribbon, and it actually, it's different. This moves. Like, it has a ribbon, and then it has these little silver strings across it. So I looped it over the page. Thought it went well with this wagon. That doesn't sound right. I guess it is wagon. Put sparkly on the tires and on the snowflake. Carriage. It's a carriage. Really pretty bell. More tea-dyed. And the end of the book. Pretty silver eyelash trim I sewed onto some royal blue ribbon. This is the page or piece I was talking about earlier. I stamped this onto baking paper, and then I painted on the back side, their eyes and cheeks. Covered it with acetate and sewn around it. And sewed it, actually, I think I sewed it to the muslin. Yeah, I sewed it to the muslin. And this is a pocket, which I will fill, but I haven't yet. Perfect ending to the book. Merry Christmas to all, and to all good night. I love this book. I hope she does. I hope you do. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I hope that there were some things in here that might have inspired you, and I really hope you'll give this tab binding book a try, because it is a lot of fun to put together. And I mean, you should try all different kinds once. I mean, at least try it once. Anyway, I also, one more thing, I didn't put this in the book because it's wider than the book and it would stick out. So I just put it inside the cover like this, and then laid the book on top of it. And like I say, I have to put a few more tags in it and put the cards, envelopes on some pages. May just put them in the front if I can't find pages, but either way, we'll get them in there. I will put this up in the shop soon for her. Again, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks again. Bye.